In that case, I'd like to now invite on stage our next speaker who's going to present a special address on challenges and lessons in development of a large format SEZ project in the public-private partnership mode. We have with us Mr. Rajiv Banga, MD, Mangalore SEZ, a mechanical engineer from BITS Pilani. He comes with an experience of over 33 years. In his earlier work roles, he has worked for 27 years with Hindustan Unilever Limited and comes with multi-dimensional work experience spanning across project management, manufacturing, operations and much, much more. Let's put our hands together and welcome him on the dais. Sir? May I request our guests at the back end of the hall to please take their seats, and may I also request our panelists to please take their seats.
Good afternoon to all. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. My apologies for coming in the way of your tea break, but I take it that's a call which the organizers have taken. So without much ado, let me move on and give you a flavor of what we've been doing in Mangalore and the challenges and lessons. PPP is fraught with a whole plethora of experiences, and it would be my privilege to share some of them with you this afternoon. What I plan to do is give you a very brief idea of the structure which we have, the role being played by the various entities, give you a snapshot on the milestones and where we are. I'll give you a short audio visual at that stage and then move on to the challenges and lessons. To introduce the company very briefly, it's an SPV which was formed in 2006, and the objective was to develop a multi-product SEZ. It's one of the few large format manufacturing oriented SEZs. We were notified as a sector specific SEZ for petroleum and petrochemicals in 2007. More recently, about a year ago, we were accorded the multi-product status as well. The promoters include one of the largest state-run organizations, which is ONGC, the state government of Karnataka through KIADB. Between the two, they have 49% stake. ILNFS, which is one of the NBFC infra developers out of Mumbai, has a 50% stake, and the residual stake is with the local Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's actually quite a unique combination of center, state, government, and a financial institution coming together, and so the structure is quite unique. And what they've been doing is that the state arm, KIADB, not only as the equity promoter but more as a service provider, has been handling the land acquisition. And also the rehabilitation and resettlement, which is a very integral part of large land acquisitions, was notified as a government order. And they've been helping the company in dealing with the social interface in doing the R&R for such a large acquisition. ONGC is the anchor promoter and investor. MRPL is one of their subsidiaries, which is right across the wall. They have also invested another 6,000 crores in an aromatic complex which is embedded inside the SEZ. And so overall, over 20,000 crore investment has been made by ONGC in that area. And the infrastructure for all of that actually comes from the Mangalore SEZ facility. In many ways, this is a very key component because it lends critical mass for the infrastructure which is being developed, which is by way of making water available from the barrages, port connectivity, and what have you, which also helps mitigate market risks. The ILFS role has been more towards formulating the infrastructure development framework, looking at the best practices and essentially offering transaction advisory services and add value, because something like this evolves with time, and so it's not something which you can put on the drawing board on day one itself. So very quick snapshot, we've done about 1,620 acres in the first phase, and an investment of about 1,700 crores is being made on it. We are about 70% of the way through it. It's a strategic location offering multimodal connectivity, excellent proximity to social infrastructure, very relevant for an industrial park of this nature, because at the end of the day, all the manufacturing units would require people, and it's very essential concern for them to have healthcare, education, and residential facilities. So all of that is taken care of because of being so close to Mangalore city, and also which is aflush with soft skills. And not only that, it is right next to the port, less than 10 kilometers away, as well as next to a chemical industry hub, including MRPL itself, which is the refinery. Our proposition is more of a self-contained integrated cluster with infrastructure about making water available for petrochemicals in huge quantities. We do about 35 million gallons per day. Port connectivity from the units to the port, a centralized effluent treatment plant, power distribution, and all the last mile micro infrastructure that you would look at. I think one of the things which the government of India tried to do in the PCPIR, which was more an intent rather than happen anywhere else, was that the environment clearance is available for what will come inside this SEZ, and hence that cuts away a lot of gestation time for any unit. It's not that they don't have to do the environment clearance, but once they are in the SEZ, they only have to do it at the state level, and so the time required comes down from something like 18 to 24 months down to less than 6. It also offers access to multiple feedstock options by way of proximity to the refinery, aromatic complex, and the port. Just to give an idea of timelines and, really drill home the point that when you do something like this, it has to be for the long haul. Our in-principle approval goes back to about 2006. The environment clearances were there in about 2008. The land acquisition process takes about 3.5 years to get contiguous land and have all the displaced people dealt with effectively. So the infrastructure development really started in 2011. First we did outside the SEZ was initiated in 2011, and virtually come to a closure now in 2014, and now we are doing the last bit of within the SEZ. So the anchor unit, which is the ONGC subsidiary, has just got commissioned. That's about 8 years into the exercise. So that's the kind of time it has taken to get to some state. By the time the whole SEZ is populated and all the units are running, I guess it will be more like another 3 to 4 years from now. So in many ways, because the anchor is working with the infrastructure provided by us, the project is already functionally operational. That does not mean that all infrastructure is done. The last mile infrastructure for the smaller units is still in progress. But what it offers is a quick start advantage, ready to use plots with infrastructure at the doorstep. And this is in flexible sizes, so we don't only encourage large units. SMEs are most welcome. 75% of the area is already done by now, and the investment committed thus far is about $1.6 billion US. Comprehensive arrangements on water, port connectivity, treated effluent disposal into the sea, all are functional, and as I said, last mile infrastructure in progress. What I would request is to play the audio visual, please.
Welcome to the Mangalore Special Economic Zone. located on the west coast of India at the international port city of Mangalore in the Indian state of Karnataka. The international port at Mangalore, well equipped to handle bulk, hazardous and heavy cargo, it is one of India's closest ports to the petrochemical-rich Gulf region and well positioned to reach European and other international markets. Welcome to the vibrant city of Mangalore, a city well endowed with mesmerizing locales. Yet, Mangalore has another side to it. It is also industrially well developed, often called the industrial capital of Karnataka. Karnataka, of course, is the well-recognized front-runner in India's industrial development. This cosmopolitan city of Mangalore has been flagged as the next global IT destination after Bangalore in Karnataka. Without doubt, it is the quality of social infrastructure that tilts the scales in favor of Mangalore as a preferred work destination. Bangalore is a city with an international airport, railway connections, as well as national and state highways. Welcome to the Mangalore Special Economic Zone, promoted by ONGC, KIADB, IL&FS, KCCI and others, with a non-governmental company structure. With over $1.6 billion investment already committed in upcoming units, the place is buzzing with activity. A large aromatic chemicals complex, epoxy resin unit, an upcoming PTA and PET plant, and others at various stages. There are good reasons for all the attention MSEZ is receiving. Firstly, the well-planned development of industrial clusters with focus on petrochemical and chemical industries, creating entire neighborhoods of raw material sources and markets set in close proximity, and clusters are known to develop specialized service providers, offering a wide spectrum of crucial services, enabling the units to stay focused on their areas of core competence. A unique aspect of MSEZ is the direct connectivity between the international port and MSEZ. Through a pipeline and road corridor, transporting of material is just a matter of minutes. Water, so critical. MSEZ has accorded high priority to ensuring abundant water using multiple sources. With 4 barrages being built on the Netravati and Gurupur rivers, water is delivered through a dedicated pipeline to the units. Not only that, nearly all of Mangalore city's wastewater would be treated at tertiary treatment plants to produce high-quality water, suitable for industrial use at MSEZ. Another feature of great interest at MSEZ is the environmental clearance already in place from the Ministry of Environment and Forests, collapsing the timeline for units to get their own clearances. A robust environment management system is in place, reflecting the commitment to comply with the environmental laws. At MSEZ, carefully planned arrangements for adequate power have been made for making available 190 MVA from the state grid. A 220 kV main receiving substation is in proximity, and a 110 kV substation caters exclusively to the units at the SEZ. MSEZ offers a quick start advantage, ready to occupy graded plots in flexible plot sizes along well-planned roads and stormwater drainage. At MSEZ, plots come with right at the doorstep connections. Reflecting its desire to offer a lush green environment, MSEZ has reserved 33% of the zone area for a sustained green cover. Over time, MSEZ will even play host to a well-planned, self-contained township. Units at MSEZ enjoy the liberalized government policies and fiscal incentives applicable to SEZs. Units at MSEZ can cater to the domestic Indian market as well, simply by meeting the positive net foreign exchange earning criteria. Manufacturing at MSEZ has an advantage. The region accounts for 20% of India's GDP, making it a preferred manufacturing location in India. So come, check out the Mangalore Special Economic Zone, your entry point into the Indian market and gateway to global markets.
Okay, so that could possibly give you a good idea. Moving on to the theme for the presentation, which is the challenges and issues and this kind of a thing. We've gone through this journey of about 8 years. I think in whichever infrastructure forum you end up, land acquisition and R&R is always talked about. I think managing the social interface and effective coordination with the district authorities, state authorities and local authorities is absolutely vital. Multiplicity of agencies, when you work in India, you get used to, but there are, when you get into execution of this nature, and I must give the context, we've done 75 kilometers of pipeline works outside the SEZ, i.e. in area not occupied by us, on ROWs, etc. You come across unique situations. For example, we have a 40-kilometer pipeline being laid next to a road. The roads belong not to one entity, but to 5. National Highway Authority of India, NH, PMGSY, Prime Minister, Sadak Yojana, morning somebody was talking about, Zilla Parishad, and PWD. The interesting part is you have ROWs, you start the work, and unbeknown to you, the authority changes. So let's say a road graduates from a Zilla Parishad to a PWD. The permission doesn't. You have to start from scratch. So on a 40-kilometer pipe work, we started with virtually entire ROW with us, ended up redoing 15 out of the 40 kilometers. So that does not help the progress. Securing alignment in the processes of public and private partners in an evolving framework is something you have to be constantly careful about. And very important is the need for the government to stay the course. The SEZ Act and rules are as recent as 2005 and 2006. Large format SEZs take 8 to 12 years to do, and sure enough, in 5 years, the government comes and announces MAT and DDT. And what it does is it completely shakes the investor sentiment, because it's not about MAT and DDT alone. What it does is it tells people that we can change anything we like whenever we wish, and that is not something that gives confidence. And coordination amongst various government and regulatory agencies has always been an area of concern. The investment climate, all of you are familiar with. Before the current government came in, the last couple of years have been rather bleak: declining global competitive index, unstable tax regimes, a lot of controls, and dilution of incentives over time. So much so that you have FTA agreements with neighboring countries or close-by countries, and it is much better for people to go there and bring inputs into India rather than make within the country in an SEZ. So the entire policy framework is fraught with a whole series of contradictions. When you're promoting a zone like this, it's not just a zone you're promoting. At times you have to actually end up promoting the country. So you're biting on much more than you can possibly chew. Moving on to the last bit on lessons. I think the whole thing is about getting the right value proposition, and for that there has to be a flexibility in approach. So very cast in stone master plans don't necessarily help, because alignment to end users is vitally important. Garnering of timely support, state government and district administration support is absolutely necessary and is something which one has to invest a lot of time in. And howsoever well one may have done the preparation, one has to be prepared for the unknown, especially while dealing with the social interface. What will crop up where is very strange. For example, National Highway Authority will give permission for laying pipelines 15 meters away from the center of the road. When you get there, you find out the land doesn't belong to NX. So what was the permission for? Don't know. Stay the course. You have to have a long-term view. You have to get there eventually through all the maze of activity. It requires a relentless marketing effort and a lot of persistence and perseverance. And most important, the alignment of interest of all the stakeholders. I'll bring it to a close at that stage. Thank you very much.